Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage. I'm Leslie Watkins and today is day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas. So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We had our socially distanced appetizer hour out of doors. We were about 12 feet apart with face masks and actually it was pretty wonderful because the weather was incredible, so we could be comfortably outside. So that was very nice, and then we each went to our own homes and had our special Thanksgiving dinner. So we were very grateful this year to be well and to be able to spend time with family even though we weren't that close. So I'm on day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas, and I am going to be featuring a different stamp set on each of the 12 days. And today, the stamp set that I have is called Winter Woods. And this is a stamp set that carried over from last year. I actually did some work with it last year that I was very pleased with. And I'll show you this at the end. But this is a explosion box that I made using some of the elements from Winter Woods. So I'll show you that later. And I also want to mention that I am putting together my BOGO sale. This is a Christmas BOGO sale. It's going to be on for 1 week. And I've been posting things to the BOGO sale group on this station, this page. So if you want to take a little preview, you can certainly go there and take a look at some of the stamp sets. They're not all up yet. I have more coming. But every day you will have the opportunity to buy one of those retired stamp sets for $20 and get an equal amount of product from the new catalog, any of the current catalogs that you like. So I'll have more information about that later. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that next month for December I'm going to be having a special box making workshop, and you'll get a preview of that today also. And a really cute card. So I think that covers most of the news for now. If you want to get a heads up on any of these things, please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and subscribe to Notes. And Notes is my monthly email newsletter that will arrive in your mailbox and let you know what sort of specials and what sort of classes I have coming up for that month. And I'd love to have you as one of my students. We do watercolor, card club, paper crafting, and some special events like bingo that you can get together with your friends, and anybody can join, and it's a lot of fun. So let's get started. Here is the stamp set, and I also have some other odds and ends that I may or may not use, but I have them handy. I've got an idea of what I'm going to do, but I haven't actually done it yet. So here are the rectangle stitch dies. I also have an assortment of embellishments. So this is the combo pack from Forever Greenery, and I selected this. And by the way, all of the materials, all the supplies that I used today will be posted later down below. So you can purchase any of these things. And I have a special going on right now. If you purchase $50 or more, you will get a free embellishment from me as a gift. So in this combo pack, there is this really nice, soft, kind of gauzy cream ribbon, which I'm sort of hoarding at the moment because I like it so much and I want to use it for something special. And then it also has this really nice gold trim, and that was the thing that caught my eye today. I thought I might be able to use that in today's project, so I'm going to keep that right over here. I have the these are called the Star Designer Elements, and these are in copper, and they're very pretty 3D 5-pointed stars, and they're very sculptural, so they really catch the light very nicely. And then I've just got some holiday things. These are called Wonderful Gems. These come in red and clear, and they've got gold flecks inside, and they look like they're faceted as well, and they come in 3 different sizes. And then the red rhinestones, which are so handy for all of these projects. And then I've got my box of other embellishments here, but I don't think I'm going to be using any of those. You never know. Okay, and then for paper, I'll show you what I've got. So this is some designer series paper, and this is from the Heartwarming Hugs pack. These are really pretty designs. They're very simple. They make great background paper. The colors are Mossy Meadow, Real Red, and Pear Pizzazz, and they're all double-sided. I like this one for today. I've got my white card base already cut. So this is going to be a book style card. And then I've got some cardstock. So this is Mossy Meadow, Real Red, and Old Olive. And all of these items will be mentioned in the description below. There will be a link that you can click on that will bring you right to my online store, and you can purchase any of these things that you may like. Okay, so the first thing that needs to get done is I'm going to grab my die cutting machine. Because we're going to do a little cutting out. Let me think. I think I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something I hadn't planned on, which is always an interesting thing to do in a live video, but let's just do a little experiment. I want to see what would happen if I stamped this first. So I'm just going to, oh, by the way, with the Winter Woods die set are also these very cool dies, and this is called In the Woods, and you get these trees, these very beautiful branches, this nice kind of curve that you can use to create a snowbank, and then some other little elements that cut out the pine cone and the spruce twig. So I want to grab this big stamp. This is a nice size stamp, by the way. This is not a dainty Christmas tree. It has some presence to it. I just want to get that on there nice and straight. And all I'm doing is I'm lining up my block with this line on my board here, and then I'm just kind of getting this looking as straight as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it helps. And then I'm using, oh, I should mention I have the Real Red ink and Mossy Meadow off to the side here. So let's see how this looks. I'll zoom you in a little bit. Give that a good press. That's pretty nice. I'm going to do another one since I have it out. I'm not sure if I'm going to need this or not, but just in case. There we go. All right, and then I'll give my stamp a quick wipe on my chamois. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to cut this down. So I'm just going to cut this in half to begin with. Actually, since I'm going to be using it at 5 1/4, I'll cut it at 5 1/4. And this is the Mossy Meadow, and 4. So that's going to be my first mat. And then this I'm going to use to cut out a shape. And that is here. So I'm taking out this die and this die. And using the open, let me do it on this side so you can see in the light. So I'm using this die first. I'll run that through. And while I have it out, I'm going to go ahead and do another one, just in case. This machine is called the stamping, cut and emboss machine. And if you're looking for a nice Christmas present to give to a crafter in your life, this could be the one. I'll list this below as well. Alright, so now for my experiment. I'm going to take this die with all the little branches on it and get that on there. Okay, and then, oh, there it is. Okay, let me see if these can nestle together. No, I think they have to go separately. Okay, so I'm going to run this through first. Okay, and I'm going to go back through a second time. I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of these out ahead of time so I'll have them ready to go. And actually, I think for this one, I'm just going to cut this one out with the edges. So I'm just getting that exactly where I want it to be. That looks pretty good. I like having options when I'm in the midst of designing something and I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it. I like to have lots of pieces ready to go to just to help inspire me and help me along the way. Okay, so I think we're done with this for now, so I'm just going to put this aside. put my dies back in here. And so what is so special about these, the reason why I like this set so much, is that the dies actually cut out individual branches up and down the tree that you can curl up and get a fantastic 3D effect. So if you're someone like me who really loves paper sculpture and 3D paper design, this is a fantastic die set to have. And of course, this time of year, you will be using it quite a bit. So I think you can see that. I think I can get that on camera all right. So you're getting a very cool, sort of lifelike, there you go. You see that? Pretty cool. And if we back that against the darker mossy meadow, that dark color will enhance the effect. So that's what we're going for today. Okay, so now that we've got that done, let's get some of our mats ready. So here's our card base. Bring you out a little bit. And here is our first mat in Mossy Meadow. And I've got this beautiful designer series paper. I should cut this down a little bit to make it easier to manage. These designer series papers come in 12 by 12, and they also come in 6 by 6. This one is obviously 12 by 12, so I'm just going to cut this in half. And then take a look at this. I want as much of this pattern to show. So I think I'm going to do something like that. So, because this piece measures 5 1/4 by 4, I'm just going to trim this down by 1/8 of an inch. So there is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now let's double check that, make sure that I have a nice edge, and I do. All right. And then I'm going to trim this down so that we have a smaller piece to work with. And I'm going to trim this. I'm just going to bring it down to 4 for now. I'm not sure exactly what size I'm going to need. So my plan here is to use one of these rectangle stitch dies. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to do that on the white. All right, let's cut out the white first. So this is the Whisper White Standard, not the thick. And I'm just going to cut this down to 4 until I figure out how this is going to be. And it doesn't need to be that big. That actually looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to get my die cutting machine out one more time, I think. Now, one of the things that's so nice about these framelits is that they cut out an impression of stitching on both the inside of the frame and the outside of the frame. And so, because I can use the outer bit as well, I'm just going to get that centered as evenly as I can. So I'll have another piece of die cut paper that I can use on a different project. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Okay. Get in there. So this is what I'm talking about. So if I just pop this out of here, you see you get this beautiful stitch detail on the edge, but you also get it on here as well. So this would make a very nice frame for another project. And in this set, you get these perfectly coordinated rectangles to work with the standard size card front, and then you also get these nice long ones or wide ones, and then this shape, which I particularly like. It's just kind of a nice all-around shape. All right, so let's get back to our card. So what I want here is a very thin kind of pinstripe of red around the edge here. So let's just measure what this is. So this is 3 inches by, get that. So I'm looking for a piece that's going to be 4.5 by, let's try 3 1/4, but I may have to cut that down a little bit. Four and a half, 3 1/4. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. I'm going to take 1/8 off of that. This is one of the reasons why this trimmer is so fantastic. Not only do you always get a perfectly square cut in the corner, but you can also do these very fine adjustments should you need to. And this, it can go a lot thinner than that. Okay, yes, so that's perfect. And now my pieces will come together to look something like that, and that's what I'm looking for. Alrighty. So now we're just going to put this together. So I'm going to begin with my Christmas tree. And I'm using my multi-purpose liquid glue, which is my favorite adhesive. And I'm just going to dot this lightly. Oh, there's one I didn't poke out. Let me get my poker here. Whoops. Feather. Okay. There we go. So I'm just making sure that each of these little cutout limbs are up. I can continue to adjust them as I go along, but I just want to get them away from the base for now so that it makes it a little bit easier. I'm giving them a little curl. Okay, that should be good. Now I'm just going to glue dot some glue here and there. That one's not all the way out. There we go. These Christmas cutouts and beautiful paper designs remind me of a store that was in New York. Oh, I've got one more place. I want to get that. On Fifth Avenue. It was called B. Shackman and Company, and I'm not sure if they're still there or not. But they had been around since, well, forever, basically. It was a really wonderful old company. And I think my grandmother actually used to shop there because when she would come to visit, she would always bring me the most wonderful surprises that looked like they were in the style of the B. Shackman line. Anyway, years later, after I grew up and moved to New York, I discovered the shop on Fifth Avenue, and it was just such a wonderland of this kind of thing around the holidays. I actually ended up doing some design work for them, and that was a lot of fun. I designed some little shopping bags with floral designs and some other things. Okay, so there's our adorable little Christmas tree, our 3D Christmas tree, and I'm very pleased with the way that looks. It looks adorable. And now what I want to do is, actually I want to give that a little burnish just to make sure. I know I'm squishing down all my nice little branches, but I just want to make sure that we have good adhesion. Now I'm going to pop them back up again. There we go. Okay. Now let's get this together. Make sure that's nice and even. Okay. Okay, that's good. All of these products, these papers that I'm using are all archival. These are excellent quality, so when you're doing something special like this and you want it to hold up over time, you want to make sure that you're using archival pH neutral papers, and that's actually how I found Stampin' Up, was because I was looking for really good quality papers to use along with my watercolors and my boxes that I love to make. And after a lot of frustration and trial and error, I finally found Stampin' Up, and it's been fantastic ever since, because first of all, I don't like to shop. I know, a lot of people love to shop. I'm not one of them. I like to have the stuff so I can just get back to my studio and get busy. So all of these things are in one catalog and delivered right to my door, and that makes me happy, happy. And by the way, if any of you would like a catalog, just let me know. Send me an email. Okay, give that a check that out. That looks perfect. All right, so let me show you detail on that. Get in the camera. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, and now I'll mount that onto the card. And obviously, with so many different colors and so many different decorative or designer series paper, you can just customize this to whatever configuration you like. All right, so there is our card base ready for decoration. Got a little bit of glue on there. So if you have a little bit of glue, I don't know if you can see, there's a little smudge there. Just using your rubber. We back in the day we called these rubber pickups. Now they're called glue erasers, I think. But there was a time when we made mechanicals using type and glue, rubber cement, and those were at everybody's side. So it's made a comeback, but in it for a different use. All right, so there's where my tree's going to go. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. I got a little close to the edge, so I'm just going to wipe that away. Whoa! Whoopsie. I'm going to pick that up with my tweezer and get that glue off of there. There we go. Bring that down a tiny bit. Okay. So there is what I would call the unembellished card, and it's already so pretty. So let's now see what we've got in for some bling. And you could I mean, you could leave it just as is, and that would be an incredible card for someone to receive. But I want to dress it up a little bit, so I'm going to grab one of these stars for the top of my tree. Get that so it's pointing up. Get over here. There we go. And I've got this, let me clear this away a little bit. I've got this gold trim, and what I want to do, can you see that? I guess you can see that. So I'm just going to loop this back and forth. So to do that, I'm going to use some glue dots. So here are my glue dots. And I'm going to fold that in half because it doesn't need to be so big. And I'm going to start here at the top. And I'm going to press that. Let me just trim that edge off a little bit. I tied a knot in this because it does have a tendency to fray, which can be very useful in some designs, but for this one, no. It's starting to get a little bit overcast out there. I'm going to turn these lights on to make sure that you can see this. There we go. That helps a little. I wonder if I can cut that in half. Alright, and then I'm just going to drape this over to there. Go. Grab that other little piece. That down here. That might be too small. Alright, so I'm just folding that in half. There we go. And over here. There we go, and I think one more. Let me see, actually that's pretty good. Swoop that down a little bit more. There we go. And I am going to see if I can tie a little knot close to the end of this just to make sure that that doesn't unravel. Go. Okay, I like that. All right, so there's our little golden garland. on the tree. And now the last thing I want to do is to simply cover up some of those glue dots with these gems. If I could figure out how to open them. Here it is. These are the wonderful gems, and they're really pretty. I don't know if you can see that, but they have a lot of sparkle on the inside. Oh boy, it's starting to rain outside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the smaller gems and use my scissor. I'm going to use the smaller gems at the top. Like so. And then as I come down the tree, I'll begin to use the larger ones. Oops. Let me get the glue dot. I think that's it. Let's see. Did I get them all? Yeah, that looks good. All right, and then I'm just going to add a couple here and there. Maybe one more right in there. Okay, so that is our card. Now I do want to have a envelope to match. So let's see what we've got on that stamp set. I think I'll use this little spruce sprig, and I like this sentiment, thinking of you this season. I'll put that on the inside of the card. So there's my spruce sprig. And my sentiment. Get that lined up. Here we go. And my Mossy Meadow ink. I'm just going to flip over to the back flap here. I think I'll do a couple of those. There we go. And then on the inside of the card, I'll do the same thing. Maybe another one. There we go. And our, let's see, why don't we do this in real red? Alright, just want to make sure I've got this right side up. Get it nice and straight. There we go. So there you have your inside of your card, your pretty envelope, and your gorgeous, gorgeous Christmas tree. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you some inspiration to maybe do something a little extra special. This is not a quick card to make, but it is stunning for someone extra special. And if you're interested, oh, I wanted to show you my box. Let me zoom you out a second. I told you I was going to give you a little preview. Let me do that. So here is a box I made last year using, see if I can fix the lights here a little bit. So I used actually I used a whole bunch of different things on this box, but it's an explosion box, you see, and you lift up the lid and the sides open up, and here are all of these beautiful Christmas trees that were created using this wonderful stamp and die set, and also a number of other dies and stamps as well. All right, so you can see some of the possibilities with this incredible set. So again, this is called Winter Woods, and it looks like this. All right, and there are the dies that you can get with it, and I recommend that you have this in your Christmas crafting supplies because it really is a wonderful set to have. And I'm going to be showing you how to make a box like that too in the upcoming box making workshop that will be in December. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and sign up for notes, and you will get all the information you need to select whatever class it is that you'd like. They're all online, and you will be able to register through that notes as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Stay tuned for the BOGO event that's going to be starting very soon. You can have a sneak preview at some of the items in the group called BOGO Sale, and I'm beginning to post the stamp sets in the album called Christmas. And I think that's about all for now. So have a great weekend. Stay well, stay safe, and stay creative. I'll see you next time.